Hello everyone, this is Senrex here from the Order of 66 Hellions, doing my 7th roster review on a viewer by the name of DB8, so let's get right into it. First and foremost, we're going to be going through an itinerary today. First, we're going to go through the account overview. Second, the strengths and weaknesses of this account. Third, we're going to be talking about the account's Grand Arena Championship. Fourth, we're going to be going over some farming, characters, and Omicrons. Fifth, mods and Datacrons. Sixth, if I were him, what would I farm next? And lastly, we're going to end off with some self-promotion. The account overview. The account is 2.9 million GP with no galactic legends. It has 8 relic characters, the 8 that you can see at the top there, and as Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes has it, or Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.gg says, the account started in January of 2023, so this is a relatively new account, about 8 months old. It is an Executor Rush. It has a 5-star Executor, which helps it take first place in fleets every day. Mod score is a 0.64, which could use a little bit of improvement, but lastly, this account has very solid Omicrons, and it's important to note that this account is new, so it's not really necessary for it to have the best mod score, and we can't expect super high things from it. So for where this account is at in terms of its history, 8 months Executor is very solid. It looks like it's taking first in Fleet Arena every day, and it is building towards the Sith Eternal Emperor. So let's get right into this strengths and weaknesses and talk more about this account. So the strengths of this account is first, it's an Executor Rush, and it looks like the account has just got it. It's at 5 stars right now, which is very good. This account also has a Wampa Omicron. All of the Omicrons in this account are absolute bangers. They have 3 right now. They've got Paga the Lesser, Wampa, and Iden Versio. All 3 of these are amazing Omicrons that are going to serve you very well at your GP range and your guild's GP range in Territory War and GAC respectively. Fleet Arena is really, really, really nice for this person. They're taking first consistently, it looks like, starting in the past week. They have Wat Tambor ready Geos, and first and foremost, this is a newer account, so it's performing very, very well for a new account. With that being said, a few weaknesses that this account has, even at its level, is its mods. I would expect a little bit higher of a mod score for an account this level, maybe like 1.5 to 2, as they don't have that many relic characters, so increasing your mod score is a lot easier than a higher GP count, but also the fact that you haven't had the time to accrue mods, you don't want to expect a crazy mod score. So the mod score is a little bit low. Second, this account has no Datacrons farmed whatsoever. Honestly, 1 would be great, but 3 to 5 would probably suffice. Putting a good Datacron with some offense or some critical damage on your Wampa in Grand Arena Championships would make a huge difference. Next, a lack of light side tunes. This account is very dark side heavy. Every character has up to Relicus dark side, which makes sense as it's an Executor Rush. And then this account is awfully bloated for its GP. It has, I think, about 30 Gear 12 characters, which could be indicative of confusion with how to farm characters from Gear 12 to Gear 13, or they're just hoarding their resources and working on relicking characters that are more vital to their overall plan. Let's talk about Grand Arena Championships. What's going on? The score is stagnant, but it's actually very good. Bronzium 3 to Bronzium 5 is probably the best range for a 3 million GP player, which, not necessarily a 3 million GP player, but a 3 million GP player with this many relics. I find it hard to believe that they'd have any success pushing up past about 2,200 for the most part if their opponents are participating often. They're getting tossed in a lot of Grand Arena Championships, but their average opponent, when compared with them, has 28 relic tunes, which is over triple the amount that they have. They've got 1 to 2 Galactic Legends, or 1.8 Galactic Legends on average, and their average opponent is 4.5 million GP, which is a lot higher than 3 million GP. So for where this player's at right now, they're performing very, very well, and I would not complain whatsoever with how they're doing. My best advice is to just make sure you're participating, because at this point, the Grand Arena Championships winning isn't necessarily based on your skill. It's more based on your matchmaking, as when you get matched up against a 7 million GP guy, there's no way you're going to win. It's just a matter of if he participates and you don't, he's going to win, and if you participate and he doesn't, you're going to win. So just make sure you're participating in all your game modes and giving it your best try. Your defensive strategy looks pretty good, but there's not much you can do when you don't have a whole lot of relics on defense, a whole lot of relics in general as well. So I just say just keep doing what you're doing and just make sure that you're participating in every single Grand Arena that you can. Let's talk about farming. So a few characters, there's a few Executor tunes that I think this account would really benefit from focusing on. The Mandalorian in his Beskar armor, Cad Bane, of course, and Xanadu's Blood. He doesn't have the Xanadu's Blood up to 7 stars. I'm pretty sure he's probably working on getting these guys to Relic anyway, but I would definitely recommend taking these guys up to Relic and getting that ship to 7 stars ASAP, as that's going to drastically increase the viability of your Executor fleet. If you don't have your Beskar armor Mandalorian to gear 13 and a decent Relic, I'd say Relic 5 to Relic 7, you're going to get walked over by Empire counters as well as Malevolence counters. But once you get those characters up to Relic, it makes it a lot more difficult for your opponent to win those matches. Next, Iden Versio. You've got Iden Versio with an Omicron. I say take her up to gear 12, gear 13, and she's going to be a beast in Grand Arena at your level. Last three, all three go together. You can never do wrong with a decent Rebels team. For Omicrons, this account's really low GP, so there's not like a whole lot of like, oh, you need to have this Omicron ASAP, but there are a few that I would recommend. Darth Treya Omicron, if you're interested in gearing her up, she's going to boost the overall viability of some of your crappy characters. Any Sith that you have up to gear 11, gear 12 will go crazy under a Darth Treya Omicron. Mara Jade would be very good, as you appear to have a nice Empire lineup as you're working towards Sith Eternal Emperor. So I think that Mara Jade could be a good investment. Lastly, if you're looking for an amazing standalone Omicron, just like Wampa, Savage Opress is your guy. I would recommend getting that Omicron. Mods and Datacrons, a 0.64 mod score is decent, but what can you focus on in order to increase this number? First and foremost, with your level and an overview of your mods, I would definitely focus on farming mods from the mod challenges as opposed to following my farming guide until you get a good core of mods. So my example of how I'd farm is, for 1 week, I'd farm 1 day speed, 1 day health, 1 day offense, and then I'd farm slicing materials for the next 4 days, right? And then the next week, I'd farm tenacity, potency, critical damage, and defense for 1 day apiece, 4 days total, and then farm my 4C through 5A slicing materials for 4 days. That's just kind of a strategy I'd go through up until you've got a mod score of around 1 to 1.5 and good mod depth. I would shift, once you get to that point, I would definitely consider shifting your strategy to the mod strategy that I've detailed in a previous video. I'll put a banner in sometime around this so you can click on it if you're interested. And then for Datacrons, you get the free calendar, you get some really good deals in the shard shop. I would just request that you farm just a couple Datacrons, particularly in the Archaic Rites set. That will probably benefit you the most. Just farm like 2 or 3. They could go a really, really, really long way in your roster. So what would I do moving forward? Your farming direction currently looks like you're going for Sith Eternal Emperor, and I'm a huge fan of finishing your farms, so I would definitely recommend finishing Sith Eternal Emperor. Then I would take a little bit of time off of farming a Galactic Legend and go for my Commander Luke Skywalker and Padme plus Galactic Republic teams to get me a good negotiator fleet as well as an offensive powerhouse team for Territory War and Grand Arena Championships. You can never go wrong with Commander Luke Skywalker. Padme serves great on defense as well. Once you start finishing up those teams, getting them to gear 13, it's good to start thinking about what your next ship should be and what your next Galactic Legend would be. Now, since you're a new player to the game, I would certainly recommend certain Galactic Legends over others, as some Galactic Legends really suck without their booster character. Lord Vader without Darth Maul is not that great. Jedi Master Kenobi without Cat is honestly pitiful, as he can be countered by just a regular old Padme lineup, and it's very embarrassing. So there's 3 Galactic Legends that really stand out in terms of lone viability. Those are Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, Rey, and Jabba. In my personal opinion, I would recommend farming Jabba, as he's going to serve you the best over a long-term time frame. So if you're interested in your next Galactic Legend, I'd recommend Jabba the Hutt, because he's definitely going to be the best in getting you that crystal income in your Grand Arena Championships. But Supreme Leader Kylo Ren and Rey both offer the same thing. They're solid standalone Galactic Legends. They counter other Galactic Legends pretty easily for the most part, at least the ones that they can counter. Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, you're going to take down Sith Eternal Emperor, you're going to take down Jabba the Hutt. Rey, you're going to take down Sith Eternal Emperor, you're going to take down Jedi Master Luke Skywalker, you're going to take down Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. They beat each other pretty easily. Meanwhile, Jabba is going to take out every Galactic Legend and take no prisoners whatsoever. pretty easily, so he's going to definitely have an edge on the countering portion. But Rey and Supremo to Kylo Ren both give you a solid fleet in the Finalizer or the Radis, which are both pretty decent, not amazing, but all right. And Jabba is just not going to get to a fleet at all, as there's no really fleet linked to his character's farming. But a benefit of all three of these Galactic Legends is once you finish the requirements, you're going to have all the characters needed to make the team successful. You're not going to need to go out of your way, like Sith Eternal Emperor and Relic up your Wat Tambor, or Jedi Master Luke Skywalker and take your gas up to Relic 7, or just get your gas, because a lot of people get them and don't have General Anakin Skywalker, and then they suffer a little bit. For ships, I'd recommend Profundity or Negotiator, because once you get your second Galactic Legend, you're probably going to be nearing the point where at least some Giga Whale in your Fleet Arena Shard is going to be looking at getting the Leviathan, so you definitely want to make sure you have a good Leviathan counter in the Negotiator or Profundity by that time, or you can go for a Leviathan of your own, but unless you're really willing to spend a ton of money, I don't think that the Leviathan is a viable option for many newer players that are not interested in whaling. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. As always, I'm doing free roster reviews like this one. If you're interested, comment your GG down in the comments below. Lastly, little guild plug. If you're tired of not getting all the Riva shards, come join my guild, the Order 66 Hellions. Discord link in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a great day.